ഇപ്പോൾ നടൻ Kamalhassan വാർത്താ സമ്മേളനം നടത്തുന്നു. തത്സമയ സംപ്രേഷണം.
The animal itself gets hurt in that, and there are hundreds of elephants. You make them stand, and they are not meant to stand amidst firecrackers also, or chandas drumming away, but you still do it because it's in the name of the culture. Now the elephants have been trained to take all that. Like in the olden days, elephants were trained to take cannon fire and still stand the ground. We have been doing it, and the double standard of allowing to kill for beef eating and not play with my bull, which will come back again to play the next year. And the rest of the year it is being tended to as carefully as a pet animal in the house, like a dog or a cat or I don't know. I think we'll have to maintain an equipoise. And this double standard is what we are questioning.
So the city saw a series of violent incidents yesterday, and you posted some of these videos as well, and we've also seen the police themselves indulging in enough violence. Do you think the state is going through a crisis in terms of a lack of leadership? And also, how do you see this violence as sponsored by the police as well?
I don't know. I'm shocked. Equally shocked. Or are we aware of it? I'm equally shocked. I hope some kind of a reasonable explanation is given to us, which will sort of calm us down. Because this will really scare a common man. I mean, anytime he could become the victim of arson or the arsonist himself.
Did you get a chance to view the videos showing the police personnel in uniform torching vehicles, indulging in arson? What runs in your mind when you see those visuals?
What?
What runs in your mind when you see the visuals?
I only hope they are actors and not policemen. Some actor like me wearing khaki and doing it, at least that you can clearly indicate and vindicate him as a criminal and put him behind bars. What do you do if they are real? I only hope they are not real policemen. That's the only loophole they have now.
Sir, what do you have to say to all these animal welfare groups? How are they?
I'm not qualified to talk about it in the sense I don't know about boards or I just run a film company. But what I can tell you is we have an animal welfare board which is capable of running. It's like the censor board or something. Why are we having additional stack up of other bodies which are working with it? That is why I think some of them want Peter out of the scene. out of the scene. So it's a new name. See, I mispronounce it even now. We've heard of SPCA in olden days and the Royal Society for Prevention of RSPCA and stuff like that. But then this is a new name for us. Probably they mean well, but what we are saying is don't come around with bans. Regulate it. More people die of automobile accidents than in Jallikattu. Much more. We don't ban automobile driving or the sport of racing should be stopped because it's dangerous.
Also, in South Africa, and Israel. Also, Peter has filed a case in Supreme Court against the elephants, which are being.
Yes, but nothing has happened. My thing is it's still going on. You have not banned it, whereas you ban us. Once again, I was against any kind of ban, be it my film or my bull. I was sitting here crying hoarse about my film being banned for no reason at all. There was no clear reason. They said it's an anti-Muslim film. It was not. I say it now, not because even then I shouted. If I had kept quiet then and talked now, that makes me a coward. Now it makes me only a sufferer who's remembering it again when something else is happening to my people.
So if the welfare board is not understanding the culture and practices of people, do you think animal welfare board is not considering the cultural practices of the people?
If they're not considered, see, if I make a mistake, if I've hurt somebody's feeling by saying something, I can correct it by genuinely asking for an apology. No law or no justice system is infallible. In Tamil we call it Pidaya Perumai Needhikku Kedaiyadu. Tappe pannada needhinu solla mudiyadu. We have corrected every law in the country, including Manunidhi. We've thrown it away. We don't go by Manunidhi. It used to be the law. And everything changed. We changed it.
Sir, several film personalities, not as big in nature as you, but say a Raghav Lawrence and R.J. Balaji, have been accused of making inflammatory speeches at these rallies. What do you have to say about that?
I haven't heard the speech, so I can't comment. But everybody was making inflammatory speeches. This whole agitation came out of inflammation over probably decades of various kinds of angers. I'm not blaming one party. I'm just looking at the system, looking at our media. Us, me, you and I have taken this self-flagellation for a little too long. And somewhere we are all coming out with this groan. It's a...
How do you see this sudden pent-up of anger? How do you see this sudden pent-up of anger from youngsters?
It cannot be sudden.
Do you think that this can be only tagged with Jallikattu?
I think we found a reason. That's all. Jallikattu was the reason, but we were looking for reasons.
So we don't
Fact
know.
that state, we saw peaceful protests of movement.
Now, there's another accusal about the students. When they said they came for Jallikattu, as I right now say, this agitation was a symbol of their discontent. When I was part of the Hindi agitation, it was not against the language Hindi. I used to pray in Sanskrit. I used to pray to a god before till I lost it. But it was not against people because we knew that Motilalji, Jawaharlalji all spoke a language which is Hindi. We knew Gandhiji spoke Hindi. It is not against the language. It is against the thrusting of language on us and making us all overnight illiterates and not making us lose the central government jobs. That was what it was about. And it was fair. And it had a series of, a litany of woes they had not spoken of. And it was not only for that agitation was the beginning of a rumbling volcano.
So the state government represented by the police have acted differently, and in your estimation, what are the biggest takeaways or lessons learned from the civil society agitation, which was voluntary, spontaneous, and
There are
non-violent for the better part of last week?
See, one of the, we have many precedents done by chief ministers of Tamil Nadu alone. Let's not take about the genius of Gandhiji or other people. Here we have seen great, Rajaji has done it, where just by not acting with the governmental power, he diffused certain things. A jail borough movement just fizzled out because he just told the policemen not to indulge in any kind of policing. It saved a lot of whatever damage they would have created in their momentary freedom or anger would be much less if police had taken action at that time. We have precedents. MGR has done it. I can almost imagine a scenario where MGR would have come to beach. All of us can imagine it. We can almost see him walking, and if they didn't allow him to come in and there were slogans raised against him, he would have come and put another cot and lay down on the opposite side near the commissioner's office and said, I'm also fasting with you or agitating with you.
That was missing this time.
I think I even spoke to them and said, please, if you feel, we will come with you. There won't be any bottle pelting or anything. I'll take it. But I don't know how many actors will come. I don't want to be colored as a party man, any party man for that matter. But I don't mind taking the color of the moment. And that is to help my people. And my biggest worry was the children and women there. It has never happened before. Gandhiji's dream had come true. At 12 o'clock in the night, a bejeweled woman should be able to walk in India, and that is when we've truly got freedom. And you saw healthy, happy Nirbhayas sitting there amidst my brothers. It's possible. It's possible even in Delhi. I believe in people.
Do you think the Chief Minister ought to have come to the location and refused it? Do you think the Chief Minister ought to have come?
He should have. The reason why I kept away from all that is I keep even advise my friends. I don't know how many of them liked my comment. I said we should not steal the limelight from them. I've said it before, I'm saying it again. Truth cannot be modified for the moment. But that's why I kept away. They called me. They came to the office and said, I said, I will not. Not because I was scared. This is the most scary moment to be talking to the press.
You started the entire,
But I'm talking.
you started the entire press conference saying you're apolitical. You started the entire press conference saying you're apolitical. But I'd like to ask you one question. Leaving any party aside, would you like to be the leader of the people? Talk about a leader of movement. Would you tackle
Okay,
the politics of
these are not my words. These are not my words. These are Albert Camus' words. Do not follow me. I may not be able to lead you. Do not lead me. I may not be able to follow you. Let's walk together. It's possible. You're making fun of this movement, calling it a leaderless movement. But look at the cohesion of it. When people get together, they are happy. When you go on a picnic, you climb mountains. When you are in an office sitting in an air-conditioned room, you are tired. Because you go to that picnic with so much joy and willingness. Here, you're working for money paid to you. You're looking at your watch for the time to go back home. Nobody wanted to go back home. That was their home temporarily. I was very touched by it.
So what do you see as a citizen? What do you think you can do with regards to the political crisis in Tamil Nadu?
See, political crisis it will always be there. It's for people to be vigilant. And that is why the voting system. I don't know whether even this latest thing about compulsory voting, I don't think is a great idea because it goes against the actual tenets of democracy. You cannot force anyone. It's their choice. Not voting is also a statement. But voting is important. I do agree. But giving incentives for voting is only legitimizing doling out money for votes. That's my feeling. My humble opinion is if you're giving incentives for voters to come and vote, it's the same as giving TV, fridge or any of the things. Then don't blame these guys.
It was a history movement. And do you see a larger conspiracy in the sudden crackdown of police?
There's no large conspiracy. I think it's not much thought has been put into it. It's not even carelessness. It's carelessness. Because they were tugged down all directions, so many other things. I don't know what political contingencies were there. Because I was talking, there are people. I spoke to Honorable CM. He thanked me for trying to maintain the thing because I don't think I made any inflammatory statements. If I had, it's time for me to apologize. If you point out, I will say that. I will never do that mistake again. But I don't think, I was being very careful because the uprisal was legitimate. Otherwise, so many people would not have collected there. Something was right about it. That's why the parents for the first time, nobody asked me to go and agitate. My parents didn't give me permission to go and agitate for the Hindi agitation. I sneaked out. Whereas in this case, parents came along because they felt there is some kind of a logic, and it is not only about Jallikattu, believe me.
And you said you don't want to treat the limelight. You said you don't want to treat the limelight, and you don't want to take the limelight away from the youngsters.
Yeah, now they've had their limelight, not only limelight, they've had bloodshed also. They've had their share of everything. This is not stealing the limelight. I'm just rim lighting what they already have, giving it a little more shine, that's all. I could have done it for Vishwarupam or Subhash Naidu or Subhash Kundu, but I use this opportunity to talk only about this moment because it's my duty, it's your duty. That's why you're here. We gain, you might find fodder for print or the media, but that's not why we are here. Somewhere, touch your heart, you're happy, you're asking these questions.
You think it will continue to gain momentum? You think it will continue to gain momentum?
Should it not? I'm asking you. Yes.
That's why I asked.
That is what.
Forces you to get.
Yeah.
Has to get.
For the first time, allow me to ask you a question because you're part of our people. You're not just press people. You have a psyche, and the psyche is Indian first, Tamil. Or if you want to reverse it, it doesn't matter. But you have the duty to ask these questions, raise these questions, and for that moment I become your creed. I join your estate just to raise the question. It's not that you fail to do your job, but I'm only enhancing your hand.
So, but every actor has his or her own right to take a pro-Jallikattu stand. Not a single person from the entertainment industry has raised the voice against or towards the cruelty part of it. Is there also a pressure, especially for those actors like you, who have a huge following, to show the public sentiment, larger public sentiment?
Yes, they are always worried because I'm one of the few actors. Nowadays, people are scared to wear this color. I've always worn it. And it is a political statement. And I'm making it. Being non-religious is also a political, being religious is also a political statement. It's a party, a party of gods, and I don't belong to it.
But is there pressure on people like you to
Yes, it is. People keep telling me, you're a film actor, why are you risking the fact by exposing what you are? I said, I'm not a drug addict to be ashamed of it. I'm just a rationalist. What's wrong with me exposing it? Some people say I'm a Tamilian. Some people say I hate Pakistan. And I say that I don't want to hate. I want to rub out the borders. We created that border. If I had been born instead of in 1954, if I had been born in 1924, I would have been sitting in front of Gandhi and asking for unity between Pakistan and India and not give them a separate state. They should have been with us. That is my feeling, even now.
But with regard to Jallikattu, do you think many are pressured to take a pro-Jallikattu stand, although they may personally have a different view in terms of cruelty plans?
Maybe but for me, I have taken the stand. If you watch my public statement, the kind of films I made, I was the only actor who made a film on two issues. One is a Jallikattu, another is death sentence, both in the same film. I'm against death sentence. Once again, law is not infallible, so you cannot make judgments, those are irreversible. That is our argument. I'm sure many great legal minds will have a counter argument for that. But our punitive measures could be redrafted to make it work for society, not through irreversible laws. Our life sentence is not long enough. It's 8 years, 14. It's about the same punishment that Lord Ram got for being the prince of Ayodhya. That's all you get for murder too. So that's not fair enough. A life sentence should be a deterrent, then we can do away with death sentence. These are my laws. Now I'm talking. Why are we talking about this now? Because day after tomorrow, we might have another press meet where again it will come under discussion. I've been talking about Jallikattu and why it need not be banned for the past 13 years. Not because I did Viramandi, it's the other way around. What was in my mind became a film.
So in larger context, do you think that there would be another political front apart from these Dravidian parties and some central parties? Do you think that
See, I always am of the opinion that if Mr. Annadure, Mr. Karuranidhi, Periyar, if they had not happened, that still would have been a movement. If they had not been there for the moment, yes, it would have been a different history that we'll be writing. But that moment was the need of that historic hour. It would have happened. So you cannot take away the Dravidian thing because it's a larger picture we're talking about. It will always be there, but it has to be done with a little more sense, ethical, civic, and logical sense. That's all. As Mr. N. Ram spoke on a thing, it's become without being, party agnostic. Not talking about any party. For the past 50 years, we have become 60 maybe, include the other government as well. We have become a well-greased, scientifically corrupted people. I include you because politicians do not come from Mars. They come from amongst us. And we allow it. We are the people who start corruption by paying $10 to the TTR when you don't have a reservation. So your leader will do it 100 folds more than what you're doing. So we are part of it. Sir.
So is this agitation over for now? Or you think, what about the demand for a permanent solution by way of...
They are saying it is their right. I'm not saying, I have no right to say that drop it and walk away. Because I was not there in the sun. I didn't have the tenacity or purpose to do this. They have it. So they have to make a decision. And how do they make the crowd gather? They'll have to now think, the time has come, how to proceed further. And they want advice. There are better people than me to give that. There are judges who will explain them, but that's what we should have done. Not getting worried about water bottles and a few expletives that they might throw at us. We should have gone there. When I say we, I'm talking on behalf of the powers that are.
Subramanian Swamy made a comment saying that anti-nationals were getting involved in that, and especially on Marina Beach when the protest happened. But within the people who initially started the movement also, there was a bit of unhappiness towards the end, thinking that there was a possibility that somebody was trying to usurp the movement. How do you look at it?
Everybody will try to usurp the moment.
But the anti-national comment?
Okay, let me talk about the anti-national comment. You see a gentleman under whose name a road is named after Sir C.P. Ramasamy here. He wanted a separate state away from India. He didn't want to be part of, would you call that anti-national? It's a moment. Even Tamil Nadu wanted to go separate. Mysore wanted to go separate. There were many kings who did not. It was Mr. Menon and Mr. Patel Saab who went and convinced door-to-door salesmen for free India. At great risk, there is a story of one of the kings who even put a gun to Mr. Menon's head. And all this was faced. And yes, they all came together on the First Republic Day to celebrate. They were anti-national momentarily. Yes, we will have to clarify and we must address those sentiments. What has made them say those things? Why are they saying Terku Tegaradu? There is some legitimacy to that complaint. So address it. Address it from wherever you have to address it. As people or as a government, please address it.
So there is also a larger
I don't see. Now I'm saying don't ban anything, regulate it. So what is the idea of turning the plate on them? Just tell them don't use expletives. The only way to correct them is not by saying not using expletives in turn. Then that becomes a pugilistic match between two people, and there's no logic to it. The last man standing becomes a winner by virtue of muscle. That's not how it should be done. I think we'll have to rethink, have dialogues without getting angry, without simply calling a PETA member or animal board member as a fool. Even if they call me a fool, I shouldn't indulge in that. Because that's when it'll be a dialogue.
Are these bodies relevant to be a kind of a watchdog kind of thing?
Yes, there should be. I'm not saying that, see, if you can't use that name, you don't like PETA, but there has to be some kind of a body. Like there are no Red Crosses in Middle East. There's no Red Cross on an ambulance. It's a crescent. There's a historical reason why Red Cross is not used. Because the Crusaders had the Red Cross that they carried. It harks back to old enmity. So they don't want to go there. So those are the things. We'll have to modify it.
So you do agree then that the ban PETA movement is misplaced somewhere? The ban PETA call, you do agree is misplaced in some way?
Yeah, ban. Why do you want to ban anything? It's a democratic country. Don't ban. Then ban Vishwarupam. Is that what I'm going to say? I won't accept. A ban is, tell me what's wrong with Vishwarupam. Tell me if it spreads sedition. I'll change it. Correct me. School me in democracy.
So now in Karnataka they have started a similar protest and Chief Minister has assured amendments. So do you think this will be continuous and this is set up?
It should be continuous. The manthan should keep happening. Kadanjite irunnu. Kadalarnalum kadanjannum.
So speaking of secessionism, there's always been that kind of a sentiment amongst the Tamil people, a kind of an anti-Indian state sentiment. Why do you think it's there even after so many years of independence?
തീർച്ചയായും മൃഗസ്നേഹത്തിൻ്റെ പേരിൽ ജല്ലിക്കെട്ടിനെ എതിർക്കുന്നത് ഇരട്ടത്താപ്പാണ്. ആനയെയും മറ്റും ഉത്സവത്തിൻ്റെ മേളങ്ങൾക്ക് നടുവിലിടുകയും ബീഫ് വെട്ടിക്കഴിക്കുകയും ചെയ്യുന്നവർ ഈ മൃഗത്തിൻ്റെ പേരിൽ സ്നേഹം കാട്ടി ജല്ലിക്കെട്ടിനെ നിരോധിക്കുന്നത് ഇരട്ടത്താപ്പാണെന്ന ശക്തമായ നിലപാടുമായി കമലഹാസനിലേക്ക് തന്നെ.
What I
Bollywood people are being put into
all the tweeters, whatever you see put, they immediately come with some abusive comments. They fill in your timeline with a lot of abusive words that gets more of an attention. So I mean, do you think you are the targets, easy targets?
Yes, we have always been easy targets. Governments attack us, people attack us, press attack us. We have to be careful. We have to keep a smile even when we are angry. Now it's become a habit. But at the same time, there are some people who will show anger even to you and show their grief and say, and even have, I offer criticism even if it's about you. We both have the sharp enough weapons to chisel each other into perfect shape.
On a lighter note, there were some reports that you and Rajnikanth have decided to act together. And number two, are you entering politics?
No, I've always, for me, it's a revolving door. I never want to enter the edifice called politics, but I am at the revolving door. I keep, yes, I am talking politics now, but I talk that every 5 years. I talk it with my finger. But
And the film with Rajnikanth?
Somebody came up with a question. It's nothing shocking or new to us. We've acted before together. But how many people are going to be able to afford us? And what will be left to make the film with if we both take our due remuneration? That's what we are thinking. അതെ അല്ല അത് ഇത് രണ്ട് മുഖമാണ് കാണിക്കുന്നത് നമുക്ക് അവിടെ ആ സ്റ്റേറ്റിൽ ഇല്ലാത്ത ഒരു നിയമം ഇവിടെ എന്തുകൊണ്ട് വരണം എന്നുള്ളതാണ് ചോദ്യം. ആനകളെ കെട്ടാമെങ്കിൽ കാളയിലും കെട്ടാം എന്നുള്ളതാണ് ഇവരുടെ അത് 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 ലോജിക്കലാണോ എന്നുള്ളത് പിന്നീട് നമുക്ക് വിവാദിക്കാം. പക്ഷേ അവിടെ ഒരു ധർമ്മവും ഇവിടെ ഒരു ധർമ്മവും പാടില്ല എന്നുള്ളതാണ്. ഇത് ഒരു വൺ കൺട്രിയാണ്. When you are trying to make a universal tax for everybody, avoid octroi and other things and make it equal, why not make everything equal? ബാൻ ചെയ്യാൻ പാടില്ല എന്നുള്ളത് ഏക്കോ മലയാളികൾ സമ്മതിക്കുമോ? അതിന് ആലോചിച്ച് നോക്കൂ. അപ്പൊ പൂരം വേണ്ട അല്ലേ? അത് ഒരിക്കലും നടക്കില്ല. ശരി, താങ്ക് യു വെരി മച്ച്.
കമലഹാസൻ ജല്ലിക്കെട്ട് വിഷയത്തിൽ കമലഹാസൻ നിലപാട് അറിയിച്ചിരിക്കുന്നു. മൃഗസ്നേഹത്തിന്റെ പേരിൽ ജല്ലിക്കെട്ട് നിരോധിക്കുന്നത് ഇരട്ടത്താപ്പാണ്. ഒരറ്റത്ത് ആനയെ എഴുന്നള്ളിക്കുകയും ഉത്സവമേളങ്ങൾക്കിടയിൽ ആനയെ നിർത്തുകയും ഭക്ഷണത്തിനായി ബീഫിനെ വെട്ടുകയും ചെയ്യുന്നവർ ജല്ലിക്കെട്ടിൻ്റെ ക്രൂരത മാത്രം പറയുന്നത് ഇരട്ടത്താപ്പാണ് അടക്കം പല കാര്യങ്ങളെ സംബന്ധിച്ചും വളരെ വ്യക്തമായി കമലഹാസൻ വ്യക്തമാക്കുന്നു. കൂടുതൽ വിവരങ്ങളുമായി സിബി ജോസഫ് ചേരുകയാണ് ന്യൂസ് ഡെസ്കിൽ നിന്നും. സിബി, ജല്ലിക്കെട്ട് വിഷയത്തിൽ ധൈഷണികമായ ഇടപെടൽ നടത്തിയിരിക്കുകയാണ് കമലഹാസൻ. ഒരു പക്ഷേ അദ്ദേഹം പറയുന്നു ആന്റി നാഷണൽ ദേശവിരുദ്ധതയെ സംബന്ധിച്ച് സർ CP രാമസ്വാമി അയ്യർ ആ ഘട്ടത്തിൽ ദേശവിരുദ്ധനായിരുന്നു. ഇത്തരം കാര്യങ്ങളൊക്കെ ഇടപെടുത്തി ധൈഷണികമായാണ് ജല്ലിക്കെട്ടുമായി ബന്ധപ്പെട്ട ഐക്യദാർഢ്യം കമലഹാസൻ പ്രഖ്യാപിക്കുന്നത്. എന്തൊക്കെയാണ് കമലഹാസൻ പറഞ്ഞത്?
തീർച്ചയായും അജുംഷാദ്, ജല്ലിക്കെട്ട് വിഷയവുമായി ബന്ധപ്പെട്ട് കമലഹാസൻ മുൻപെങ്ങും പ്രതികരിക്കാത്ത രീതിയിലുള്ള പ്രതികരണമാണ് ഇപ്പോൾ ചെന്നൈയിൽ വാർത്താ സമ്മേളനത്തിലൂടെ പറഞ്ഞിരിക്കുന്നത്. ജല്ലിക്കെട്ട് വിഷയവുമായി ബന്ധപ്പെട്ടുകൊണ്ട് തമിഴ്നാട് സർക്കാരിനെതിരെയും കേന്ദ്ര സർക്കാരിനെതിരെയും മൃഗസ്നേഹികൾക്കെതിരെയും എല്ലാം ഒരു രൂക്ഷ വിമർശനം തന്നെ അദ്ദേഹം ഉന്നയിക്കുന്നുണ്ട്. ഈ ജല്ലിക്കെട്ട് ഇതിൽ കാളയെ ക്രൂരവിനോദത്തിന് ഉപയോഗിക്കുക എന്നുള്ള ഒരു വാദമാണ് മൃഗസ്നേഹികൾ ഉയർത്തുന്നത്. ഇത് വെറും ഇരട്ടത്താപ്പാണ്. കാരണം കേരളത്തിലും മറ്റും ആനയെ ഉത്സവങ്ങളിൽ മണിക്കൂറോളം വെയിലത്ത് നിർത്താമെങ്കിൽ എന്തുകൊണ്ട് കാളകൾ ഉപയോഗിക്കാൻ പാടില്ല? ഇത്തരത്തിൽ ഒരു ഇരട്ടത്താപ്പ് നയം എന്തുകൊണ്ട് സ്വീകരിക്കുന്നു? അവിടെ ആനയാകാമെങ്കിൽ എന്തുകൊണ്ട് തമിഴ്നാട്ടിൽ കാളയാകാൻ പാടില്ല എന്ന രീതിയിലാണ് കമലഹാസൻ പ്രതികരിച്ചത്. മാത്രമല്ല, ഇത് അപകടങ്ങൾ സൃഷ്ടിക്കുന്നുവെങ്കിൽ രാജ്യത്ത് ഏറ്റവും കൂടുതൽ അപകടങ്ങൾ ഉണ്ടാക്കുന്ന വാഹനങ്ങളാണ്. എങ്ങനെയെങ്കിൽ നിരത്തുകളിൽ വാഹനങ്ങൾ നിരോധിക്കുമോ? ഈ നിരോധനം സിനിമയിലായാലും കാളയിലായാലും വാഹനത്തിലായാലും എന്നും ഈ നിരോധനത്തെ താൻ ഒരിക്കലും അല്ലെങ്കിൽ വിലക്കിനെ താൻ ഒരിക്കലും അംഗീകരിക്കുന്നില്ല എന്ന് തന്നെയാണ് ഇന്ന് കമലഹാസൻ വ്യക്തമായി പറഞ്ഞിരിക്കുന്നത്. അതോടൊപ്പം തന്നെ ഇതിന് മറ്റൊരു രാഷ്ട്രീയ മാനം കൂടി നമ്മൾ കാണേണ്ടിയിരിക്കുന്നു. തമിഴ്നാട് സർക്കാരിനെതിരെ അദ്ദേഹം രൂക്ഷമായി വിമർശനം ഉന്നയിച്ചിരിക്കുന്നു എന്നുള്ളതാണ്. ഇപ്പോഴത്തെ ഒ പന്നീർശെൽവം മുഖ്യമന്ത്രിയായുള്ള അണ്ണാ DMK സർക്കാരിനെതിരെ അദ്ദേഹം രൂക്ഷമായി വിമർശനം ഉന്നയിച്ചിരിക്കുന്നു. മറ്റൊരു രാഷ്ട്രീയ മാനം കൂടി അതിന് കാണേണ്ടതുണ്ട്. കാരണം മുഖ്യമന്ത്രിയായി ഇന്ന് MGR ആയിരുന്നെങ്കിൽ ജനങ്ങളുടെ ഇടയിലേക്ക് ഇറങ്ങി വരുമായിരുന്നു. അദ്ദേഹം ജനങ്ങൾക്ക് എല്ലാ പിന്തുണയും കൊടുക്കുമായിരുന്നു എന്നാണ്.
ഒപ്പം പല കാര്യങ്ങളുമുണ്ട്. അതായത് ഈ അദ്ദേഹം പറയുന്നുണ്ട് അണ്ണാദുരയും പെരിയൂരും ഒക്കെ രൂപപ്പെട്ടത് ഒരുപക്ഷെ അവരൊന്നുമില്ലെങ്കിൽ പോലും ഈ ദ്രാവിഡ രാഷ്ട്രീയം രൂപപ്പെടുമായിരുന്നു. കാരണം ആ ആശയത്തിനൊരു പ്രസക്തി ഉണ്ട് എന്നത്. നിങ്ങൾ ആരുടെയും പിന്നിൽ നയിക്കപ്പെടുകയോ നയിക്കാനോ ഉള്ളവരല്ല, ഒന്നിച്ചു ചേരാനുള്ളവരാണ്. അതായത് ഈ സമരവുമായി ബന്ധപ്പെട്ട് മുമ്പോട്ട് വന്ന എല്ലാ വൈകാരിക അംശങ്ങളെയും അദ്ദേഹം ഒപ്പിയെടുക്കുന്നു. ആന്റി നാഷണൽ മേനോനും പട്ടേലും ഓരോ മുറികളിലും പോയി കൊട്ടിയാണ് ഇന്ത്യയെ രൂപപ്പെടുത്തിയത്. അന്ന് ദേശവിരുദ്ധരായിരുന്നവരുണ്ട്. മൈസൂരുണ്ട്. സർ CP, അതായത് രാമസ്വാമി അയ്യർ പേരിൽ റോഡുകളുള്ള രാമസ്വാമി അയ്യർ, ആ രാമസ്വാമി അയ്യർ അടക്കമുള്ളവർ. ഇത്തരം ഒരുപാട് വിഷയങ്ങൾ തമിഴ് ജനതയുടെ ജല്ലിക്കെട്ടുമായി ബന്ധപ്പെട്ട സമരങ്ങൾക്കെതിരെ വരുന്നതിനെല്ലാം ഉത്തരം കമലഹാസൻ പറയുന്നു.
തീർച്ചയായും ഈ സമരത്തിനെതിരെ വരുന്നത്, അതായത് സർ CP അടക്കമുള്ളവരെ രാജ്യത്ത് നാട് കടത്തുന്ന ഒരു അവസ്ഥയാണ് ഉണ്ടായതെന്നാണ് കമലഹാസൻ പറയുന്നത്. അത്തരത്തിൽ എല്ലാ രീതിക്കും ദേശവിരുദ്ധരായ നാട് കടത്തണം എന്ന രീതിയിലുള്ള, അതായത് ജല്ലിക്കെട്ട് പോലുള്ള ഈ ആചാരങ്ങളെ വിലക്കിക്കൊണ്ട് ഇത്തരത്തിലുള്ള മുന്നോട്ട് പോകാൻ കഴിയില്ല എന്ന് തന്നെയാണ് കമലഹാസൻ വ്യക്തമാക്കിയിരിക്കുന്നത്. താൻ പൂർണ്ണമായും പ്രതിഷേധക്കാർക്കൊപ്പം തന്നെയാണ്. ഇതിൽ സംസ്ഥാന സർക്കാരിൻ്റെ നിലപാട് മാറ്റണം. സംസ്ഥാന സർക്കാരിൻ്റെ ഒരു ഇരട്ടത്താപ്പ് നയം അതുപോലെ മൃഗസ്നേഹികൾ ഇതിൻ്റെ പേരിൽ ഇരട്ടത്താപ്പ് നയം സ്വീകരിക്കുമെന്നാണ് അദ്ദേഹം പറഞ്ഞിരിക്കുന്നത്. മാത്രമല്ല മുഖ്യമന്ത്രി പന്നീർശെൽവം അടക്കമുള്ളവരുടെ നേതൃത്വത്തിലുള്ള ഈ സർക്കാരിനെതിരെയും അദ്ദേഹം രൂക്ഷമായി വിമർശനം ഉന്നയിക്കുന്നു. എം ജി ആർ ആണെന്ന് മുഖ്യമന്ത്രി ആയിരുന്നെങ്കിൽ അദ്ദേഹം ജനങ്ങളുടെ ഇടയിലേക്ക് ഇറങ്ങി വരുമായിരുന്നു. ഇപ്പോൾ ആ ഒരു സ്ഥിതിവിശേഷമില്ല. ജനങ്ങളിൽ സർക്കാരിലുള്ള വിശ്വാസം നഷ്ടപ്പെട്ടു എന്ന് തന്നെയാണ് കമൽഹാസൻ പരോക്ഷമായി പറഞ്ഞിരിക്കുന്നത്. രാഷ്ട്രീയമായി തന്നെ ഒരു വലിയ ഒരു കുത്ത് ഇപ്പോഴത്തെ തമിഴ്നാട് സർക്കാരിന് അദ്ദേഹം നൽകുന്നുണ്ട് എന്നുള്ളതും വ്യക്തമാണ്.
ശരിയാണ് സിബി സൂചിപ്പിച്ചത്. പല രാഷ്ട്രീയ മാനങ്ങൾ കൂടി അതിൽ കൂട്ടി വായിക്കാവുന്നതാണ്. എന്തായിരുന്നാലും ജല്ലിക്കെട്ടിന്റെ പേരിൽ പരസ്യമായി രംഗത്തെത്തി കമലഹാസൻ, നിങ്ങൾ തിരുത്താൻ പറയൂ, നിരോധിക്കരുത്. നിരോധനം ജനാധിപത്യത്തിന്റെ സ്കൂളിന് ചേർന്നതല്ല എന്നത് കൂടിയാണ് കമലഹാസൻ പറഞ്ഞിരിക്കുന്നത്. ഇതിന്റെ കൂടുതൽ വിശദാംശങ്ങൾ കൂടിയാണ് സിബി ജോസഫ് ന്യൂസ് ഡെസ്കിൽ നിന്നും നൽകിയത്.